I'm Jay.
I'm Adrian.
And together we are the
Two Crazy Cat Ladies.
I'm gonna cut you.
I think I just paid.
Buckle up. We're back in the closet.
Welcome to literally the first episode of a series for Back in the Closet podcast that we are very excited about, called Ask the Cat Behaviorist. For many of you guys listening, you may not know, but for those of you guys that are joining us live tonight, you probably already know that we have, like 3 days ago, I think 4 days ago or something.
I don't even know what day it is.
Recently,
Saturday.
just launched The Cat Behaviorist, our newest teammate, and we are so grateful and honored that for her energy, for her love for cats, and for her expertise to help cat parents everywhere that have behavioral issues, no matter where you are on the globe, right? And so we are so grateful to be joined tonight, first of many nights, that we are excited to be joined by Linda Hall, the cat behaviorist. You can find her at thecatbehaviorist.com. She will be joining us for a series called Ask the Cat Behaviorist, where you guys put in the comments your questions for a cat behaviorist. Now, mind you, it has to be short. It can't be too long, because this program actually will cut off your comments. So if you're giving us your whole life story, it's not going to work like that. Book a session.
But I already see so many questions coming in, and Linda, for anyone who hasn't met you, who doesn't know you yet, can you just share a little introduction?
Somebody lives under a rock and has missed the whole launch thing.
Yes. Where were you? But anyway, yes, I was raised with dogs, and when I got cats, they seemed like aliens. And when I started learning that they could communicate and about all the cool cats have so many cool hidden functions you don't even know about. And when I started hearing about them, I wanted to know more and more and more and more and more. And I was just all over it. And I started to realize there's so many cats going to the shelter because of behavioral issues. And if people would reach out to behaviorists, we could change that. So I took a course at Animal Behavior College and got started. I worked with a nonprofit for about 4.5 years. And then I hitched my wagon to the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. And I have been a busy cookie this week, and I love every flipping second of it.
I have to say, I'm so grateful. I've been so grateful since Saturday, because, we reached out to you to help us with our issue. We're doing the P problem progress reports. I need to do another one this week. And it's just so refreshing. I was just mentioning to you before we jumped on live, and we were a couple minutes late, because I feel like when you're dealing with a health issue, you want to, Jay and I have been in health and wellness for so long. When you're dealing with a health issue, it's like, ooh, we could try this and that, and let's just, and then you see improvements, and it's wonderful. When it's a behavioral issue, it often leads to behavioral issues with humans as well, because now, like with our P problem, or dealing with inner cat aggression, it's like you start getting angry at the situation. You feel exhausted.
Absolutely.
You feel hopeless. And your direction, when we met with you and we had our session with you, I felt like it was the first time I was hopeful in 2 years. And seeing the baby steps the progress that we're making, we just want to share it with the whole world. And I know that we totally threw you into the frying pan on Saturday.
I'm all about it. Let's go.
Need your help and your insight. And I already see the comments blowing up with questions, because all we cat parents want is for our cats to be happy and be healthy.
Yep.
And when we don't know why they're not happy, it can really change the whole dynamic of a whole household.
Yep.
And oftentimes, like you said, and go into those statistics for a quick second, because so many people have asked us why we haven't rehomed. And by rehome, people really mean drop off at a shelter somewhere and hope that they're rehomed. Your cats, because they're peeing on your stuff.
On your face while you're sleeping. Screw the stuff. If
Right.
I woke up out of a sound sleep, look, sleep is pretty precious in my book. If I woke up, warm, wet, what?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an issue. But there are so many cats that are euthanized, the amount of cats that are euthanized because they have behavioral issues, which is why I do feel like feline behaviorists are one of the most underutilized resources for all of us. And we can already see here so many questions coming
Yes,
in.
and this is a 30 to 40 minute podcast, so we're going to try to dive right in and get as many questions answered as possible. Now, disclaimer, first, you can't leave too long of a message, but disclaimer is Linda works one-on-one and every cat is an individual, right? So if you're asking a question, she is going to do her best to give you some advice, but without knowing your specific cat and your specific situation, you're try her advice, try whatever she gives you. Hopefully that works. If not, book a session. Link is in the description. You could even do a free consultation first, a pre-con, so that you can find out if this specific issue is something that she can help you with. I'm here to tell you that she can. Okay, so let's just
and P.S. if you book a session between now and June 30th and pay for it by the 30th and put in code Fix My Cat, it's 40% off. So
that's right.
People are jumping in, so get in there.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Okay, I'm gonna scroll that on the bottom.
I'm gonna keep you on track, baby. I'm gonna keep you on track.
Thank you. You always do. Okay, let's start from the beginning.
Right, let's go.
We're gonna try to rapid fire as much as possible because so many questions. I had some questions, but I think ours are gonna we're gonna have to ask
time at the end
off camera. Whatever.
Yeah.
Deborah says I have 2 female rescue cats, both of whom were kittens when refused.
Must be rescued.
One is 4 years old and the other 2 rescued 2 years apart. The older cat hates the younger one and is viciously aggressive with her. What say you, Linda?
For one thing, 2-year-olds are very much like, how babies, like there's a period of time where you could snatch up a stranger's baby and they'd be like, that's fine. And then they get the point where they're hiding under their mother's skirt. Between 1.5 and 2.5, 2 seems to be the magic number, is when they decide to come into their own. And a lot of communication, you have to realize with cats, is nonverbal, and we don't even notice it a lot of the time. So it could be some of that. It could be a 2-year-old didn't want to accept a little kitten. I don't know if this has been going on the entire time. Especially is the 4-year-old a female? I don't remember. If the 4-year-old is a female, yeah. Oh, yeah. Females are not readily accepted. They stay in a smaller space in the clouder while the boys are out playing security guards, right? Those girls, I call them sister wives. They work together. They may even nurse each other's babies, but they don't necessarily like each other. It's not impossible to see 2 females snuggling, but it's more uncommon than seeing males snuggling or even a male and a female. Females are catty, baby. That's where they came up with that term, So, but things you can do, first of all, calming aids to chill that out. Can't calm anyone, takes up to 24 hours to work, use it every day. It's kind of like a maintenance dose, all natural, holistic, minerals, like what is there, 83 or something? There's a ton of minerals in this thing. Yes. And they have a money back guarantee if it doesn't work. So you have nothing to lose. And then if you want someone to think better of you, what do? You bring them gifts, you compliment them, you try to make them happy, to bring them to like you, right? Let's do the same things with the cats. If there's an absolute favorite be all end all treat, they only get it when they are in the vicinity of each other. If I didn't like somebody so much, but I got a piece of turtle cheesecake every time they were around, I might be a little more tolerant of them, might actually even come to like them. They send me to Hawaii, I'll actually love them. And so, try to build that up. And I cannot stress enough how important word association is. Put a word with the behaviors you want. If they're not pestering each other, that's so nice. Good girl, whatever you want to say. Treat, love, pet, brush, play, whatever it is that floats their boat. And when they go after them, it's time out. Whatever stops, they don't get a treat. Maybe they go behind a door for 1 minute. They're too ADD. After that, they're just mad at you. But being consistent. Consistency is everything. Everything.
I love it. I love it.
Real quick though, just because a cat fight is one of the scariest things I've ever seen. In that moment, I know you had some really good tips for us because we deal with that as well. It's almost as if, Deborah, I'm feeling you on this. It's almost as if one of our cats is hunting, literally as if to kill another cat. So that cat fight, it elicits a very big reaction in me. How can we deal with that in a better way?
That is the worst sound in the world. For one thing, you need to know that no cat wants to fight. Their world revolves around preserving themselves and their species. Nobody wants to fight. They're fighting because they perceive a danger. And it could be two that are scared, and I'm staring at you waiting to see what you're going to do because I'm scared of you, and you're staring at me because you're scared of what I'm going to do. And then somebody twitches and it's, oh, he's coming after me, and it's game on and they're locked for their lives. So knowing that they don't want to do this is a good start. You don't have an aggressive bully on your hand who's a mass murderer unless they have a neurological disorder. So, and then, being that cheerful and encouraging that and trying not to carry that. Guys, they read our energy. If you go into the room thinking there is going to be a fight, there's going to be a fight. Remember when you were young and your adults would get nervous or talk about the bills or something, and you get sick to your stuff, something's wrong. What's going on? What's going on? It spreads. So you got to try to keep yourself calm. Know that you've got a plan. Really helps if you're trying to get two together that are really going after each other. If you can harness train the one that tends to be the going after, so that you can stop them immediately instead of chasing them through the house. If you can't harness train, I always say shut any extraneous doors. Shut the bathroom door, shut the spare bedroom door. We don't need to find more places for them to go and get locked under the guest bed where you can't reach them, right? We want to stop this as soon as possible.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Moving on. Stephanie says, hi, ladies. Any tips on how to help an anxious cat feel more secure and calm and build up her confidence? She was thrown out and then became mine. So I think part of the trauma stems from there.
Oh, Stephanie.
My client today, actually somebody Nicole just did a pre-con with, y'all with Annie, stop throwing your cats out the window, drop them at the shelter if you're really not going to take care of them. This is so traumatic. And here's the thing. I trusted you. I lived with you. You were my human. You threw me out. So how does your cat know that you're not going to throw them out? This is a nervous making thing. So again, with the anxiety, there are quite a few calming aids. Cat Calm is great. There's a few others that I like. I think there's a total of 4. Music for Cats by David Tye. It's free on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music. It is music made specifically for cats by a symphonic cellist who did the whole study and has been proven to help calm cats. And you can leave that running low.
What was that name?
David Tye, T-E-I-E. It's music for cats. If you have an Alexa, say, Alexa, play music for cats by David Tye. And when you get sick of that, you tell her, play music for cats Volume 2 by David Tye, because he does have a second album when you cannot hear Bella's aria one more time. But it's actually become my sleep sound. We were out of town in a hotel, and I turned it on my phone, and my daughter's like, there's no cats here, right? No. Yeah, it's my sleep sound because I just got used to it. But, anything you can do to set up a calming atmosphere, watch your body language. And I'm telling you, visualization, the messages you're sending, just like they can read the anxiety, they can read other things. I want you telling that cat every day, verbally and mentally, I love you and I will keep you no matter what happens. I will never, ever let you go. You are here forever. Do you hear me, Annie? Those are your mamas for the rest of your life. And they're going to do everything for you that they can. And I love that she has framed herself this way. During the intro, she was standing right next to the sign. She was perfectly centered. It was hysterical.
Yeah, this is like her spot for our podcast now. This is where she's like, oh, podcast night? Okay.
She's a star. She's beautiful and she knows it. She's a star.
It's true.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go through. Karen Dendy Smith is here. Hello. We can't wait to talk to you tomorrow.
Love Karen Dendy Smith. Love.
We get to talk to her tomorrow. Oh my gosh.
Lucky ducks.
Hold on.
Attention. Here we go.
Wait.
I think this
Hi,
one.
Aiden.
Hi, Aiden. Even though we have set times for play, meals, and sleep, my 4-year-old cat meows for attention when I'm moving around doing chores. How can I set healthy boundaries? She has never been alone longer than 4 hours in a day.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I need to hear this too.
Yeah, we need this info
so
too.
For one thing, here's your word association. If you are saying, I'm going to dust now, and you dust and don't stop, they know I'm going to dust now means, I had to stop the cats. I've never had a closed door until the kittens turned into teenagers. And I was in the middle of a session and one jumped on the dresser and shut the light off. So now I have to lock them out. And at first they were really getting me. I was hearing bodies thrown against the door. I was feeling terrible. But I tell them every day, mommy's going to work, and I shut the door. And they're not bothering me anymore because they know that's the boundary I've set. Meanwhile, let's put on some stuff. Let's put a YouTube video for cats on, the tropical fish with the calming music. Put some cat grass out, a treat ball. Give them things to do. If those toys, the same toys have been on the floor for 3 weeks, pick some up, put some other ones out. Get some kitty crack nip. It's organic. It's amazing. Spray it on those really old catnip toys that you've got that don't got no nip in them anymore. They will re-nip and you will save money not buying more toys. I tell all my clients that stuff is amazing. You pull the nasty ones out from under the couch and they have their own Dust Bunny Village living on them. You can wash them, and yes, it'll ruin the catnip, but then you'll spray crazy cat ladies crack nip on them and they're brand new again. And I think you should buy more toys.
Thank you. Yes, that is awesome. Okay.
Brandy.
Next, Brandy. My dog passed away, and my cat Callie was his favorite cat. She now carries his favorite toy and cries. Does this mean she misses him?
Absolutely, it does.
Wait, bring Brandy's comment back for a minute for those watching. Brandy, you have a possum on your shoulder, and I love you.
Oh, you do.
I noticed that. I was reading the words.
Oh my God, I just absolutely love you.
Yes, Brandy, you're our soul.
You're a soul
for
sister.
sure. So yeah. Cats
So-
grieve now, and people tell you my cat doesn't grieve. Some cats go away and stay, just like people. There are people that are like, I ain't going to that funeral. I can't deal with this, or I'm just not going to think about it. And there are people that are sobbing, and there are people that are jumping into the casket. There are varying degrees. And I know when my son-in-law passed and my daughter moved here with her for Inky, who was the closest to Sebastian, he used to hang that cat upside down like it was a kid, toddler, flipping around. Cat didn't care. Every night that cat roamed the halls crying. I still hear it. Just every nerve and cell in my body, I can hear that cat crying. And it took a while. If there are things that the dog laid on, don't be so quick to get rid of them. They can get comfort from going and laying on those things. My daughter took one of her husband's shirts off one day, maybe a couple weeks after he'd passed, and laid it on the floor because apparently she still doesn't pick up her laundry, even though she's grown now. And all 4 of her cats would whoop and laid on it together. And one of those cats was not exactly, well, 2 of them were not exactly big snugglers, but they could still smell it even though it had been washed. So don't be so quick to get rid of everything. Allow that grief just like we allow us to grieve, right? You want to keep the things from the people. And love, love, love. And tell the cat, I'm so sorry you lost your friend. I'm sad too, but I'm so glad I still have you and you have me, and we're going to get through this together.
Yeah. Yeah, that was so important when Oliver Twist and Pooh Bear passed. It was to talk to all of our cats and be like, we're going through this too.
Yeah,
like get it, and it's hard. And
how old was your son-in-law?
38. He turned 38 3 days before he passed. He was in a coma on a vent, so he didn't know he was 38, but he was 38.
Oh my God.
Insane. And yeah, everybody, I mean, it impacts them. And I have been blessed that the last 3 of my cats that passed at home. And I was able to have them on the bed and have visitation, which is a true story. Some would come and kind of look in the door and walk away. Some stayed just outside of the doorway. Some came up and sniffed and then was like, one of them just kind of sat on the bed next to the blanket with the cat. I mean, it was heartbreaking, but from a behaviorist point of view, it was also really fascinating and was just such a clue into how deeply they love and how similar they are to people.
Yeah, well, and a quick side note before we go to this next question for Jane, I love you, Jane, is that we learned about cats transitioning at home and how important, if at all possible, it's not always possible, right? No. But if it's at all possible for a cat to transition at home, it really, really helps, or a dog for that matter, right? Like a pet, it can really help with the rest of the animals in your, get through the grief, get through the confusion portion. They'll still grieve, but when there's a Mack truck type situation, and it's like,
You
oh my
rush to the
gosh,
vet
and
and
you
they
rush
never
to the
come
vet
home.
and they never come home. Then the cats go through this like
Where
this,
are they? They
this
look,
confusion and this and sometimes
Absolutely.
it's like, what did you do to them? And like I don't know exactly what they
No,
think, but
exactly. The cat disappeared and didn't come back, and that's scary as heck. Okay, if
yeah,
you were 4 and your parent walked out the door and never came back, this would really shake your foundation for life. And I
right.
am fortunate that I have a backyard, which has really become a pet burial ground. Because I always have so many, and I think I lost 3 last year. Even if I have to take the cat to the vet, I bring the cat home and I sit on the bed with that cat and I allow the other cats to come up and say goodbye. And it's horrible and it's heart-wrenching and it's disgusting in
But
every way, but it's necessary.
but they know like when they
they at
come up
least
to
know.
that body, it sounds so morbid and weird and gross and all this stuff and things, but really when you think about it from like the perspective of if your cat just died at home, like Pooh Bear, right? Like he just fell over and died and all the cats were like, or most of the cats were there and they were like watching this happen, and they probably watched his spirit leave his body, right? Like they knew these things, so they didn't have this confusion of what happened to Pooh Bear, where did he go, if it was
Absolutely.
like he died, oh god, okay, like
Yes.
he-
Yes.
you, and then the
Yes.
grieving process is a bit easier when you aren't
When there's a collective
confused.
When they didn't
understanding.
just disappear and not come back. And that's a Sebastian. Like men in hazmat uniforms came and took him away. And
Yep.
26 days later, we moved to grandma's house. What just happened? And
Yeah.
animals do know. I had this very dear friend. She was kind of an adopted mom and she was going through cancer. And so I was going over and, helping out when I could. And her daughter came from Cincinnati and we stayed the night before she passed. And she brought her Aussie, Soph. Sophie was the best dog. Rest in peace, Soph. And Sophie kept coming in and checking on Nana and would push her nose under the covers and lick her hand and go away. And she kept checking on her. And when Sharon passed, we called Soph in and she went over and went and left the room. Complete change. She's gone.
Yeah.
They know she's gone. They
Um,
know. They
Yeah,
know.
they are so much smarter than us,
Oh,
really.
there's
Okay,
so many
on to
ways.
Jane. My
Jane.
cat has a problem with biting when someone pets her. She's now 18 or 19 and is slowing down.
Calming aids. This is an anxiety, but also, again, using your words. So, one of those kittens I mentioned decided the best way to get my attention was to bite my ankles. So, I tell no bite, and I'd immediately turn away. The worst thing you could do is give attention. Why would you don't bite, right? We want to help discourage that. If he bites again, I tell him time out and I'll walk out of the room and do a lap around the house. You didn't get what you wanted. If it's just a nervous thing, then you've got to watch that body language. I've known several cats who wanted attention and you gave them 2 pets, and on the 3rd pet, they chomped you. It's like overstimulation, like an ADD person. So, what you do is you warn them and you say, I pet you, and you give them 1 pet and you stop. And you say, I pet you, and you continue this pattern in a week or 2. When this seems like it's no big deal, you say, I pet you, and you give 2 pets. And you find and you watch those sensitivities, but you always warn and you never pet an anxiety cat from overhead. How do predators get you? They come from overhead, the wolves, the eagles, whoever's going to snatch you up. And I didn't see you coming. I always will hold my hand out, let you smell, and then I'll say, pet you, and I'll give you a couple pets. Even to my cats that have lived with me forever, because you don't know what happened that day that has their anxiety on edge.
Yeah.
I have to say,
Wow.
like with Annie, she is so special in so many ways. But we got to the point where I realized she really loved being scratched, like right under her chin, whatever. And one day I went up, like, oh, she was being so sweet. And I just went up and I started, and she ripped my arm open because she didn't see me coming.
Exactly.
Yeah, she did not see me coming. So now it is like if you're when I go up, it's definitely you offer your hand, and she's the one that leans in and just
Yes,
and
she chose it.
she has a choice.
Look,
Yeah.
would you come up to somebody, you see your friend or somebody that you knew, do you come up to them and just grab them and start touching them? Or do
Sometimes
you go, I want to hug you? Well, yeah, it depends on who it. No, I am a huge hugger. I get that. It depends on who it is. But I at least go,
you in real life, you're not
I
going
at
to
least,
see
oh, we're going to be just nothing but hugs. And Jay will just be like, yeah, it's enough. I
Like,
can
oh,
get, but I at least, you throw your arms out and you come in. They at least have warning. And you cannot
right.
tell me there's anybody in this room that has not lived the experience of not realizing that someone was behind you, or that your spouse or partner came home and you see them go, ah! And it could be somebody you've been married to for 25 years and they scare the snot out of you, not because it's them, because you didn't expect them. We all
Right.
need warning. Call out when you come in the door, please. I mean,
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Sandy
Hey,
Cat.
Sandy.
What do I do when my intact kitten gets mad at me and attacks when he is told no? Walk away?
Yeah, again, we're going to use a word like, no hurts or anything. The problem with no is that we use it too much. The cat does this. No, Floppy. No, Flop. No, no can't mean 22 things. So if you're going to say no, you need to put it with something else. Like if it's, an attack, if it's bite, if it's whatever. You can't, no, 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 no. They don't learn that way. One word for each thing. You can say no bite, no hurt, no scratch, whatever. But yeah, you say it and you pull that attention away. And if they do it again, you say time out and you walk away. That is probably, I wouldn't give a consequence of putting them in the other room, because that is an anxiety response and nobody should be getting consequences for, flipping out. But definitely calming aids, play the music, it's cat calm, anything like that. Try to keep the house as peaceful as possible. Warn the cat of everything. This is something for every single situation. I told Jay and Adrian, if you try to imagine that you're in some foreign exchange program and you've been dropped into another country where you don't speak their language, and there's no calendars or clocks or anything on the wall that's decipherable to you. I don't know if they make clocks in another language, but we're going to go with that. And they're nice to you. Nobody's mean, but you have no idea what's going on. And they'll bring you food, and then they'll walk into a room and shut the lights off. And you're like, oh, do I go to bed now? I mean, it gives me anxiety even talking about it. Okay. I'm a little bit of a like to be in control person. This is what our cats live every day. All of a sudden we're in the shower getting wet. Why in the world did you put water on yourself? What's wrong with you? And that's a cat's nightmare. I can get on the counter here, but I can't if you're making food. And why can't I get that food? All food is my food. And what are you doing? Where are you going? I put words with everything. I say the same thing when I'm leaving, when I come home, when I go to bed, when I wake up and my bladder's full, I say, Mommy's got a potty. They all know what that means. Everything has a label. The more your cat can expect what's happening, the more comfortable they're going to be. A cat in nature repeats the same day over and over, like that movie Groundhog's Day. I would die. But they do it because they can trust those things and they know those things are safe. Cats don't like surprises. They don't like changes. In their perfect world, everything stays the same and nothing moves. So as many routines as you can put into place, the more comfortable the cat's going to feel.
I just realized I married a cat.
Yeah.
What?
Next question, Aaron.
What?
Why does my male cat only poop outside the litter box? He pees in the litter box with zero problem.
If he's having pain when he poops, this can make them think badly of the litter box for that. Like, it doesn't hurt when I pee, it doesn't hurt. If he's pooping right outside the litter box, it means he wants to get in there. He knows he should get in there, but he can't for some reason. If he's having constipation or diarrhea, cool cat fact. I don't know how they know this, but cats go potty in nature in a communal area. And if one is sick, they won't poop there. Why? Because it would spread disease. How does the cat know that? Don't know. It's one of those things that just fascinates me about cats. So if they're going right in front of the box and they're having problems with pooping, they may feel like they're sick and be instinctually not wanting to poop in that area. Yeah. The other common reason is feeling afraid. Maybe you've got a litter box bully in your house or you've got cats outside. It is easier to pee. Well, it takes less time for me to even poop too. Anyway, and to poop it to get in a certain position and raise their tail, and it makes them more vulnerable. I mean, if somebody's breaking into my house, I'd rather it not be when I'm on the potty because I can't run with my pants at my ankles, right? It's the same situation. So it's like, I'm going to go here where I feel safe. You two have an amazing video on YouTube, DIY litter box. It is the coolest thing ever because not only is it tall, high-sided, really, really huge, but they use, I do this every time I talk about it, but they use the plastic totes, the clear ones. So if I'm in here and somebody's coming, I'm not blocked. I can see you coming and I can get out of the way when I see you coming, as opposed to some hard plastic, gray, blue, whatever thing that I can't see out of.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you said that, because whenever a cat suddenly starts going outside the box, whether it's pee or poop, health is always the number one thing that we say. We got to check and make sure that they are, because oftentimes
That's
our
what I
cats
want
are
to know what the
stoic.
poop is like.
Our cats are stoic, um, which means by nature, right? So in the wild, they they are if
They will
they
not
show
show
any kind of
weakness.
weakness, they are
Easy prey.
predators and prey, right? So they are easy prey if they're showing weakness. So if they don't feel well, we want to get their health checked first, right? If they start going
Absolutely.
outside the box, we want to get their health checked first. I would say another one
Yeah, I was gonna
that we
say.
have seen many times with this specific question is that when cats will pee but not poop inside the litter box is because they don't have enough boxes. So the going rule, right, is to have at least one more box than you have cats. And most cats, we watch it with our cats all the time. Most cats prefer to pee in one box and poop in another.
I've
So
seen
right. So if, like, you say you only have one box and they've gone in there and they've peed, and then they're like, I just contaminated that. I don't want to poop in there, but I got to poop. They poop outside the box. So if you add another box, right? So if you have one cat, you need at least two boxes. If you have three cats, you need four boxes, right? Like, it's just, you just want to add an extra box. And sometimes that takes
Absolutely.
care of the issue
Yeah.
as well.
And I want to tell everybody who's got a comment about peeing, I get so frustrated. This is one of my soapboxes. Your cat's being outside of the box. You take the cat to the veterinarian. The veterinarian checks for a UTI. 99% of vets do this. And that's good. There are a host of illnesses that come under the heading of feline lower urinary tract disease, fluted. Okay. UTI is one of them. And yes, we want it checked. It's an inexpensive test. It's easy to do. And if you don't catch it in time, it really can take your cat's life. So, okay. Then when it comes up with no bacteria, they say, I'm sorry, it's behavioral, and they hand it over. UTIs are not the most common cause of fluted. The most common cause of fluted is feline interstitial cystitis. And the reason they don't talk to you about it is because the only way to check for it is with cystoscopy, to put the cat under anesthesia and go up and scope the cat. It's going to cost you a couple $1,000s. And if the cat's not in a flare in that moment, it'll say it's fine and the cat really has a problem. It is so common, and it tends to be with the stress cats. And it hurts every bit as bad as a UTI. It's all inflamed, it's painful. And so they start peeing outside of the box. And I swear, this is the third product I'm talking about. I swear they didn't tell me to do this, but I tell everybody their PEA, the real word's palmitoy ethyl something something. Anyway, it's very long. PEA for short. It's a naturally occurring fatty acid. It's in our bodies. It's in egg yolks. It's in peanuts. It will not hurt your cat if your cat doesn't need it. This is a 75-day supply for one cat, I think, for like $29, right? Am I on that? And it's a teeny tiny little spoon. It's 1/32 of a teaspoon. Is a teeny tiny. And it'll make all the difference. PEA has been found to be better for pain than NSAIDs like ibuprofen and naproxen sodium. So if you've got a chronic peer and the vet has cleared it and said there's no UTI, just trust me on this one and try this and see if it helps, because you may have a cat that's in pain with FIC.
Yep. And the formulator of that is Dr. Judy Morgan, a
Yes.
world-renowned veterinarian.
Yes.
Today is her birthday.
Happy
So,
birthday.
Happy birthday, Dr.
Dr.
Judy
Judy
Morgan. And thank
Morgan.
you for changing the world of pets everywhere. And thank you for co-branding this product with us so that we can offer it to the cat community as well.
Absolutely.
It's
Our
such a
babies now.
huge issue. FIC is such a huge issue in so many cats. And we're learning more about it through you, actually, of how big of, like, we've known that it's an issue.
No,
but,
absolutely.
like, learning so much more about, like, because you're dealing with so many of these
Yes.
of these cases.
Yeah.
So,
And so
thank
often that's it. So yeah, you really have to. And again, it doesn't hurt. If the cat doesn't need it, it won't hurt. Older cats too with arthritis, inflammation, and pain, PEA.
yes, absolutely. Okay, so Loopy After Dark
Mhm.
says, we recently had to put down our 17-year-old cat.
I'm
How can we help
sorry.
more cats grieve? Also says in another comment, one is eating her feelings.
I do that too. Tell the cat I can relate. So first of all, I'm so sorry for your loss. That just, our cats don't live long enough. I hate everything about that. But yeah, you do it the way you do with anybody. You know, you give your love. If they're feeling standoffish, you let them be standoffish. You can leave a little treat by the bed and go in and sit down. If the cats are treated under the bed and won't talk to you, you can just sit in the bed and read your email. We used to tell pet sitters this: the cat's hiding, sit down, read your email, read some news stories, find out what the latest celebs are doing, but say it out loud so that the cat hears your voice, and then let them be. Respect how they want to grieve. If I want to grieve alone in my bedroom, let me know you're there. Leave me some sweets outside my door, but then let me have my space. If they're looking snuggly, you be snuggly, and you tell them you're hurting too. I'm hurting too. I miss Kitty too. I love him so much, and I'm sad, but we're going to be okay. And I'm so glad I still have all of you. We're still a family. We're still together, and we'll do this together, just like you would to a human. And again, not to push the calming aids on anything, but on everything, but seriously, every behavior problem that I work with needs some calming aids because they're all out of some sort of anxiety or depression or whatever. So yeah, that's my go-to
Yeah.
with everyone.
I have to say, not to steal the microphone for a minute, but we obviously carry Cat Calm is our product. PEA, we co-branded with Dr. Judy Morgan, and I felt like we were like, what is wrong with us when you were like, hey, have you thought about this? And
you're not actually the first person to say that. And we were like, oh yeah. And then we'd start it. And then, you know, like the bottle would run out and we would be like,
okay, well, hearing it from you and being able to see Annie is in my lap right now. You guys.
Yeah. Like for those of you guys joining live, you can see Annie. This is so special. Like,
and
Annie,
her ears aren't upright. This is the first, I'm going to cry. I've seen her more relaxed and calm and I've been so happy, but this is literally the first time ever that I've seen her that her ears weren't, because even if she's relaxed, she's like, I'm listening for trouble. And her ears are down. They're fine.
Always.
So look at her.
It's incredible. It's incredible to.
Oh, she's like, what? You talk about me?
I know, honey. I know. You need to be a cat actress, huh?
There's something to be said for helping a beautiful species. They're both predators and prey, but being able to take the edge off. You know, I know that our energy impacts them. The other cat's energy impacts them. And so when we can help take that edge off, sometimes we get to see.
Yes. All right. We got to get to as many as we can, and we only have a few minutes left. So let's go with Amy here. My 1-year-old cat meows for everything: playtime, food time, and anytime he wants something. Is there anything I can do to make it stop, or is that just his personality? My other 2 cats don't do that.
Some cats, it is their personality, but that doesn't mean we can't tamper it a little bit. Number one, you want a routine with everything you do. If the cat comes and meows at you and you go get the cat food, why would the cat stop meowing at you? That's how I get my food. I meow, she goes and she gets food. So if you put a routine with something like you play with them for 5 minutes and then you get their food, they know it's coming. And this cat isn't going, are you going to feed me? It's time. Are you going to feed me? And having anxiety. And people who feed on a schedule, if you feed your cat at 9 o'clock every night, at 10 till, they're going to be all there staring and waiting for you. And if you get stuck in traffic or in the bathroom and it's 9:01, they think they're going to die. If I don't get fed at 9, I will never get fed. Food comes at 9. Food didn't come. So you don't want to respond in that way. And you can even, if you know she wants to play and she could use some play, you can even say just a minute and futz around with something for 5 minutes and then say, now let's play, and use those words, let's play. Play doesn't happen until mama says it happens.
That word association is so important, and you've taught us this, and we're like trying it. Like I'm correcting Adrienne when she's like going in, and then she's like, no, and I'm like, no, use your words. That's enough. That's enough. She's like, that's enough, and I'm like, okay, let's try to. It's hard for us to.
It is.
To get like to that point, but once you create a habit of it, it's like that's enough is now an easy one. Now we're gonna be better after tonight. We're gonna be better with our no's, because we are saying no, but we're not saying no to like specific things. So we're gonna say no spray, no spray, no spray,
no
spray.
bite, no fight, no whatever. Yes, just put something with it, because no just cannot mean all those things in the world, right? Like,
and I have to say,
I have a couple questions for you.
Okay, but real quick, say the word association thing, and I really want us humans to think about this, because I have always thought that I try my best in life to be responsive, not reactive. When it comes to my babies, I keep catching myself being
reactive,
completely reactive. And I know that there's That's also a layered issue. But I have to say, when you really encouraged us with this word association, when we were in our session with you, one of the things that I started doing with Annie, and I shared this in one of the P progress problem report updates, I started asking her in the morning when I got up, "Are you ready to go potty? Do you want to go potty?" She knows it now. And it is crazy to me how quickly, we watch those videos and we think, have you ever watched those videos of those cats with the little speak buttons?
Yes, I'm fascinated
Right?
by them.
Our cats crave engagement way more than we realize. And so when now, because every morning it was almost like clockwork, I would be frustrated. Every morning I get up, we have a very big routine for us, right? Jay goes and washes all the dishes, feeds all the babies, I go do all the litter, I vacuum the house. It's just clockwork. If I don't acknowledge Annie and say, "Are you ready to go potty?"
She's not gonna do it.
Something is hit before I'm done. And so
But
now
I want to say, knock on wood,
"Hi, babe."
our sinks in our bathroom. I hate it when I say it out loud because it seems like every time I say it out
I know.
loud, but our sinks in our bathroom have been clean for a minute, like without having to
Really
do any extra cleaning. Like
the small bits of progress, and I want to really encourage everyone who knows that you need some individualized care from Linda. Get the 40% off right now through the end of June.
Please.
This isn't just about like, oh, maybe this is something I should do. This can change your world. This is something that has changed my whole perspective of our dailiness. I feel hopeful, and I feel more disciplined about being consistent with the things, understanding that our cats are basically like 3-year-old, 4-year-old kids, right?
Absolutely. Perpetual toddlers.
Are more similar to ours than dogs. They're just less expressive, right? So recognizing and seeing this kind of progress, seeing how quickly, especially Annie, picks up on word association. Are you ready to go potty? She'll come in with me even if she doesn't have to go potty. She now knows I think she's such a good girl. She goes into the litter box, even if she's already just gone potty. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, because she wants to please you, and so she's going ahead and taking it over there, and eventually it'll become a habit, and she'll just go there, or you'll be able to say, "Do you need to go potty?" and she'll just go, and you don't have to walk her in, right? It's like potty training children in a way, but yeah, their emotions are so deep. But how can you have a relationship with somebody if you really don't know them? Think about somebody that you're close to. You know their core values, probably their favorite color. You know what kind of food they like. You know them. We have to know our cats. And if we don't know what motivates them and why they do the things they do, we're never going to have a really strong bond with them.
Yeah. And that's why feline behaviorists, I think, are so invaluable, because I've often said this to our friends or like, whatever. They're like, "What's a feline what, like a therapist for cat?" You're trying to explain it to someone doesn't.
We're like, yeah, actually, yes.
Linda speaks cat. It's kind of also, we have done all the reading and all the stuff and things to try to help our situation with our cats peeing everywhere over the past 2 years since Annie came into our family, and it's just escalated in spite of our best efforts. It's because we did not have individualized attention to our specific dynamics.
Us, really.
And that is what makes all the difference. So better understanding the why behind stuff, it really shifts everything, and it makes it so much more hopeful. Yeah.
And
you're moving forward. Yeah.
Okay. So into the podcast, I have 2 questions. I text Adrian it this morning.
Yeah, we were talking.
I think when I'm washing dishes, it's something. Am I a water sign?
I'm like that in the shower. My best thoughts come when I'm in the shower.
Exactly. Hey. When I'm in the shower, or if I'm washing dishes, I get
like a waterproof recorder in there. So I can put them out.
We'll get you.
I always say, like, if I'm in the shower and I have a great idea, I always have my phone on the bathroom counter. So I will say, "Hey Siri."
That's smart. Make a note. Oh, I can do that. My bathroom, mine's always on the sink. Yeah, all right. I got that.
Okay. So first question, do you find that you repeat yourself often in sessions, or do you find that you think of new and different ways to approach behavior issues depending on the cat?
Both.
I knew
Some
you were gonna
things
say
are very standard. Like if we're doing an integration, I want you to have a barrier, like a temporary screen door. I want you to be doing short sessions. I want you making it happy. I want you using your words. I want you putting in rewards and consequences. Done, done, done. Now, then I get, well, my cat won't come out from under the bed. And then I have to explain to you that that's okay. Your cat still knows that cat's there. And at the end of the session, your cat says, all right, I didn't get hurt. In fact, some good things happened. Mom threw a treat. Or, well, my cat won't eat the treat. They will after you leave. They still know when it came, right? This still counts. Or maybe this cat has had really crazy trauma. So I'm going to want you to approach a different way. Maybe this cat was feral. And so we need to, there's those things. There's a basic pattern to most things. Peeing is the most frustrating for me because there are so many possibilities. It could just be, if a cat can't spray, they will often use pee for that. It could also be that the cat is sick or in pain. It could also be there are cats outside and the cat is trying to marry. It could be, there's so many things. So that one is a little hard. I couldn't write up a basic handbook on that, but I count on pretty much everything else. But then there's the tweaks for the individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
love that.
with us, because we do have,
I knew that you were going to say both.
For us, for our situation specifically, it just feels so overwhelming that we don't know what to do because it is a layered issue. We do have cats outside. We do have an emotional component because this happened so quickly after we lost our boys. We have Annie, who doesn't even know what the hell's going on, who has had her own trauma. We have Friday, who was so connected to Oliver Twist. It breaks my heart every time I see a memory pop up with them together because she hasn't been able to express that kind of love with another feline family member since he left. It's a layered situation.
And most importantly, we have the two pet parents that are running two businesses, and schedules are not the same ever. Our routine have routine, right? And so we're traveling here and we're doing this there, and we're
it's hard.
It's not.
You tell them you're going. You start working up before you go. You tell them you're going to go. Everything's going to be fine. You tell them Auntie Sissy's going to be here. I'm assuming that's what's usually there, and she is going to give you this. And I picked up a couple extra toys and put them in a cabinet, and she's going to give them to you while we're gone. And it's going to be 4 sleeps. Then you just keep filling them in, and you're happy about it because while you're dreading, oh crap, we're leaving. Oh, heck's going to break loose. It's going on. Oh crap, they're leaving. Oh, heck's going to break loose, and it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yep.
So you tell them and you keep as many routines as possible in place. If you do this before you do this, then it would help if Auntie Sissy did this before she did this, right? So that we're keeping as much normalcy as possible. I always tell people too, I don't know if you do this, but take a shirt that you've worn all day, the stinkier, the better, and leave them on the bed because the cat will go to that scent and cuddle on your shirt for comfort. I'll tell people, run around the block, get it really smelly. They love our funk, right? I want the nastiest thing you've got. And don't change your sheets unless you have somebody coming to stay who's going to be sleeping in your bed. We don't want to take your scent away and you away. The bed is our biggest scent soaker.
Yep. Oh, I love that. Okay. One more question and then we're going to finish up. And this is actually part of what we're talking about, right? How often does the energy of the human play into the behavior of the cat?
Oh, 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Did a session once. So funny. Guy and girl get together. I don't think they're still together. If you're listening, let me know. She has a cat. He has a cat. They're trying to kill each other. He thinks her cat's Satan. She wasn't quite as sure that his was Satan, but she thought he was a jerk, like two people getting together have 2 kids and they're blaming each other. So I got them to the point where the 2 cats are in the same room and they're videoing it. And he's standing there and he's got a water bottle in his hand and he's got his finger on the trigger and his foot is tapping. And I watched her cat and you could see the anxiety build and she jumped. Well, they had her on a leash wrapped around the table. So the table flew. So the other cat flew. And they're like, look, it doesn't work.
Oh my God.
They were fine before he started that behavior. And I get it. You're scared that your cat's going to get hurt. Look, I'm not downplaying that. Been there, done that. But you're making things worse. I did have a couple once that we decided that the lady couldn't be a part of them because she just gets so nervous. So her husband did all of the sessions by himself because she just couldn't get herself under control.
Yeah. The energy, I mean, the energy of I will have to say, we have another behavior session, and not behavior session. We have another animal communication session tomorrow
incredible Karen Dendy
with
Smith,
the incredible
who is here.
Karen Dendy Smith. We just so happened to win.
Yeah, we
so
got we won a drawing.
We won a drawing.
Do you want
a
to
drawing.
And
I
do
know.
you? So
I'm so
yeah,
excited.
we won a drawing, and now we have with our beautiful friend Karen Dendy Smith. We're excited about it, but I'm telling you, every time we've talked to cat behaviorists or cat communicators about our situation, it's always my fault. Like it's always like something me. It's always something me that is like creating the issue, and I try to like resolve it. I try to do stuff and things, but it's the energy,
You're
right?
not getting
It's
to the root of it, my love.
it's the energy that I like. That's why I said like I feel like I need to be medicated because
No,
I'm like constantly. Oh, we
the
have to do
answer.
this. We have to
You
do that.
just have to be very purposeful in catching yourself. It's like meditating. I've been working for the last like 6 months on meditating. I'm horrible because the thoughts start coming in my head and I have to stop and go, shut up, stop it. Okay, start again, whatever. I bought a book and it was basically for people with ADD who are trying to meditate. I have to force myself back. Don't beat yourself up because now you're feeling like crap. That's not helping the situation, honey.
You know what?
Go ahead.
I don't think it's Jay. I don't think it's necessarily Jay. Thanks to Karen Dundee Smith, I have been better about trying to meditate lately.
She's been doing qigong for Karen. She has been doing qigong every morning for like a couple months. Yeah.
At least my point is, I recognize, and I'm sure it's part of it, but I recognize that Jay's anxiety is one thing. Jay's anxiety is very action driven. She's very much about the best thing for Jay is to cross everything off her list. I am very emotional, and I realize that for the past 2.5 years, I am in a PTSD mode when we lost Pooh Bear, and I for 20 years I never jumped up if I heard a weird noise. I was just like, oh, the cats. Now if I hear a weird noise, I don't care if it's 11:30, 2:00 in the morning, whatever. I am up. I am always living on this like, and I can't. It's hard for me to stop it, because you think, what did I miss with
Pooh Bear?
Right? So that is the energy to me. That's the predominant energy that's bothering our cats. This very anxious underlying energy that I have.
I worked with someone today who actually spoke to an animal communicator who did not know anything about what was going on in the situation. She said, my cat's really depressed. And she said, the animal communicator told her, you lost somebody in your family and the cat feels guilty. The cat basically had survivor's guilt. Seriously. I was like, they're so complex. And yes, the cat's best friend had passed. If your mother, brother, sister, partner, whatever died in your family unit, no one would expect you 2 years later to be Ducky Swell, sweetheart. Okay.
To be what?
Ducky Swell. Sorry, maybe that's a Michigan term. Yeah, peachy keen to be fine. We would expect you to still be grieving and struggling from this. No one would expect. So why would we expect you to be over Twist and Pooh Bear's death? And why would he expect your cats to? And your cats honestly basically lost their paternal figure in the house with Oliver. I saw that stuff. If your dad dies, it kind of messes things up for you and your unit, and it shakes your confidence and your security because daddy fixes everything. He kills I know my daddy killed all the spiders for me. All I had to do was yell, and he never chased me with them either. He just killed them right away. I have the best daddy. But, if you lose somebody who's a staple like that and has such an important role in your home, of course you're all shook up. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Oh, I love you, Linda.
It just makes it to be mindful of it.
Yeah.
When does our energy affect our cats? I think
100%.
100%. Yes. Yeah.
But that also doesn't mean that you have to I'm not allowed to grieve because I don't want to upset my cat. No, you're going to grieve, but you're going to however the cat acts, you're going to tell the cat, I'm okay. You're still going to try to keep up your routines as much. If your cat comes and lays in bed with you, you're going to allow them to snuggle you and help your grief, and you're going to work through this together. So, but you can't chase away the feelings, but you also have to be hopeful and keep in your mind and keep, we're going to get through this and then we're going to do this. We've got this to look forward to and keep that going. this is the best way to honor the cat's memories, right? By
Yes.
going and making something happen that's good and helping others. And Twist being such an integral, he was just such a, he was just the cornerstone. You know what I'm talking about? He was just the cornerstone.
From the get.
It's awful, and then everybody's got to shift positions and figure out where they go and how to be, and your comfort's gone, and it's horrible. But you rescued Annie, and so something wonderful came out of this. And
Yes.
right, honey, and yeah, I get so excited when somebody tells me they spoke to an animal communicator. I'm like, tell me what they said, because that knowing those motivations and what the cat's thinking really helps. We work very well together.
Yes. Yes.
And I do think that cats are just the kings of authenticity. You know, it's
Without a
one
doubt.
to try to put a Band-Aid on yourself. You can't fake it with your cats.
You cannot fake it with your cats.
So I feel like you've been such a help to us. And you acknowledge so many of the things that are, I know that you've known, like you knew Oliver. We sent you that video so long ago when we were dealing with other stuff, and it's just so fascinating and helpful. And I believe to this day our cats are our best teachers, and I really help. Sometimes all we need is a translator, and so I am so eternally grateful to you for helping us better understand our cats. You guys, I know we went way over time because I just got all weird about stuff. But until the end of June, if you have an issue that you feel that you're challenged by, please book a session, 40% off until the end of June.
With the discount code Fix My Cat, all one word, Fix My Cat, at thecatbehaviorist.com, thecatbehaviorist.com. Link is in the description here. Thank you, Linda, so much for joining us. We're so blessed and honored to have you a part of our team. I can't even express how blessed we are to know you, and
it's reciprocal
for you to be a part of our family. So thank you so much, and thank you all for joining us tonight. And that's going to wrap up this episode of Back in the Closet with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies, and the first episode of Ask the Cat Behaviorist. We will be back for many more in the future. So get ready for it. And we love you all, and have a beautiful whatever day you're watching or listening to this. Mwah. Bye, guys.
Bye, you guys.